How's it going, everybody? Welcome to this episode where I'm not the happiest to have to do this. And I don't have to, but I want to explain, and I'm going to try and keep it short, but I almost might need to do a feature out on the whole channel that I can just redirect people to, because I have to say this every once in a while, but it's really important. Okay. So, if you were paying attention, if you saw the community posts or the Discord, I posted a poll because we ran into a bit of an issue where it was brought to my attention that I had misinterpreted some of the advice had been given. I don't think it was bad advice. I think people were trying to help me not get any spoilers, but wanted to give me advice on running the game, and I'd interpreted it in a way that doesn't really quite work, it seems. So there are branching endings for the two, true endings. The whatever you want to call them. They branch into two, and they involve a lot of plot and kind of resolution of stuff that you learn through all the other routes. And they're pretty critical to just comprehending the entirety of the story. Didn't realize that. I thought they were two flavors of the ending, where it was kind of like you had an ultimate choice and you had a consequences afterwards, but the majority of it was the same. It seems that that's not likely the case. For whatever reason, that poses a bit of a problem, because I want to play to a finale. I want to play through that feels like it finishes. It's not left hanging too hard, and that's tough. So why is that tough? Well, you gotta understand that there's a delicate balance between creating content on YouTube and creating too much content on YouTube. Because stories like this are so linear and they're so character driven, yeah, there are choices that are made into the game, but the gameplay isn't really gameplay. It's like how you explore and come to terms and experience the story on your own. But the story is ultimately the same no matter who watches it. That makes publishers and developers very fidgety when it comes to having people make content like this on YouTube. I talked to the developers and I talked to the publishers, and that's why I've made choices way back when I started the channel of how I wanted to run things. But you have to understand the reason why I do it is because I've talked with publishers, developers. I want to respect and show love and appreciation to the people who make these games, who also translate these games, the people who inspire the games to be around and to be available for me. Because, ReWrite wasn't written in English. It was translated by fans, and then an official translation was done when they saw that there was a market desire and people outside of Japan wanted to play these games. And I think we have to find that balance, because it's a great disservice if by showing and sharing this content, which, I love making, you love watching, but if I'm, by doing that, making it possible or removing any desire for people to support developers and publishers for the work that they did in this game by, experiencing the game on their own, buying the game and sending that money back to the creators, it starts feeling empty and hollow, because it takes a lot of work to make something this good. It takes a lot of artists, it takes a lot of writers, it takes editors, and it takes time, and it takes programming. And coming from me, you gotta understand, I have a pet project where I'm trying to write a script for a visual novel on my own with the free time I can manage. And that alone has really helped pull into effect and scope of just how challenging this is, because I've written novels on my own. Nothing published, but I've finished 70,000 word novels. I've gone through the process of writing them and even having them edited a couple times by friends and family. I just didn't think they were something that could ever, be taken to market, but it was a really good experience for me as a writer, as someone who enjoys that process to do. I started doing it for this, and I'll tell you, it's been far more challenging than anything I've ever tried to write before. And even approaching it's difficult. And it's very similar to that idea where it's look, I don't think it's great, because when sometimes it feels like companies are sitting on piles of gold and hoarding these stories, be no, you can't share these. But then at the same time, you also have to remember that people bled and sweat and tears that gave them up to make something like this possible. And it's a discredit to not encourage support for those developers and publishers. So I tried to come up with a compromise. If you don't talk to many of these companies, the compromise they want you to do is usually play only the demo, which for ReWrite would have ended, I don't know, like sometime in mid-October. Like, you don't even get to like the foundation of any route. They sometimes ask for certain percentages. Sometimes they say no. In fact, if you've ever wondered why I've never covered Clannad, I've had Clannad on my radar since I started the channel. It was one of the first ones I saw that I was like, I want to play that game on the channel. I wanted to do Clannad before I even knew Muv-Luv existed. But then when I reached out to the publishers, they said, with no uncertain terms, which ironically is the same publisher, or at least it's part of the same publishing family, they said outright no. You cover more than the demo of Clannad, we will destroy your channel. Like, we'll do whatever it takes to take it down. Like, they weren't even shy about it. And the thing is that any of these companies can do that if they want to. I don't have a legal precedent to say no. Not really. I mean, you can claim fair use, but at the same time, the law looks at visual novels a little differently than standard gameplay, because the gameplay is very easily arguable that, like, you can, the way you interact with the game world of something like Skyrim or Starfield or even Yakuza, the individual players and different players will interact with that world in unique ways. Whereas with a visual novel, I mean, you could argue I would see it in different ways, but in practical terms, I'm not going to encounter the story very much in a very different way than anyone else, and they can get a lot more defensive. You also have to remember that there's a real precedent case here. There was a guy who uploaded Steins Gate 0, and then specifically My Darling's Embrace, which is a spin-off Steins Gate, like, kind of collection of short stories that's more focused on romance, which I've covered on this channel. But some guy in Japan uploaded that content. Now, he didn't transform it. He didn't, like, talk in the videos. He didn't have his face in the videos. But he got arrested, and he's in jail right now. And I think he was involved in some other kind of sketchy stuff, but it was his YouTube videos on Steins Gate that actually got him to court. And once they got him into court, they were able to tack on other charges, because once they could do a thorough investigation, and get a warrant for his computer and see everything else he had, they got him for other things. But, like, the fact that in Japan, putting up content from a visual novel literally was what got someone into court and into prison should put a good perspective on some of this. Now, I'm in the United States, but the thing is that I'm pretty sure that might be the one reason why I don't get harassed out of YouTube by these companies, because frankly, I think some of them would love to, if they could, but they can't reach me. And so I'm only restrained by YouTube, which they could still do a lot to me if they really wanted to. So why do I bring that up? It's because I've got to build a good relationship. I need to have a good relationship with you. I need to have a good relationship with these developers and these publishers. I don't just have to, though. I want to. I want developers and publishers to feel like I'm a person who helps them, gets the word out, helps get the excitement up, helps build, like, strengthening their brand, helps bring revitalized interest in it. I want to be somebody that they can look to and be like, oh, this is like a partner. This is like an outreacher, not someone who's stealing and yanking our content and throwing it up somewhere. And so that's actually a big reason why I even have my face in these videos. I started with it because I genuinely think it's easier to connect with somebody, and with stories that I get so involved with emotionally, I feel like it helps you understand what I'm actually going through, that it just wouldn't communicate as clearly if I were just a disembodied voice. Disembodied voice might be less distracting, might be a bit more, but then, I just don't think it has that human connection that I wanted to have ever since I started the channel, even if it's not really meta anymore. The other thing is I actually had to reach out with, excuse me, I was reached out to by Anchor. So they're the publisher behind Muv-Luv. And what's fun is that, even when I was a lot smaller of a channel, it was when they had their revamp where they started looking outside Japan for the first time, like, seriously. Where they suddenly saw, like, oh, it was when the Kickstarter for Muv-Luv's translation went up. It made like $10,000 or some dollars, and it was they did an official translation. They released it, and it sold really well. And that kind of kicked them into gear, saying, oh, we have a whole market we've never tapped before. And like it finally kind of woke them up, and they made a big push for translations. And that's why we've been seeing translation after translation after translation. That's why they started having a broadcast, their own YouTube channel and everything. And what's really fun is they actually went to YouTube itself and they tried to say like, all right, who are creators who have already been making and building audiences around our content? And they looked up a few YouTubers. And I was actually one of them. They contacted me directly. Specifically the US based team, the branch of the team that oversees the translation and publication and release. They have like a little office that they have in like, I think San Francisco or San Diego. And they have like a coordination localization team. And they actually reached out to me and they said, hey, just letting you know, we're meeting with the heads of Anchor and the publishers, and we're going to be talking about YouTube content. Just wanted to let you know that you came up in the discussion with a few other creators. Echo 6 was one, and I think there was one other, but I can't recall specifically the name. This was a couple of years ago. But they were just like, hey, just a heads up, you came up. We are currently working with them to decide how we want to work with and like what standards we want to establish with streamers and creators outside of Japan. We'll get back to you. Like a week later, they came back to me and they kind of gave me a little outline in my email. And you know what the outline said was really kind of cool. It said that like they watched all of our content and compared them side by side, and they decided on a packet of like ideal ways that they want people to view content. The most important features were these two. Number one, it needed to be transformative. That meant that it couldn't just be straight uploads of audio only. It needed to have somebody speaking. It needed to have some kind of interaction. It needed to have some kind of interpretation. They wanted it to be transformative, and they wanted it to be clearly transformative. In fact, number two kind of rides on that. They said they highly preferred if someone had a face cam in the corner of the video, like mine. And the actual like creative director from Love and the writer said that they enjoyed seeing my expressions, and it helped make sure that people understood that this wasn't the basic content, this was an interpretation of it, and that they felt was a good way to have somebody make content whilst also still pointing people towards its source material. So I'm more boisterous than ever. I'm always going to do webcam unless like something drastic happens, because you can't get better than that. And I've had other developers and publishers reached out to me. So why am I sharing this story in particular? Well, it's because that's the relationship I want to have with all developers. And Key, bless their hearts, they have some of the best visual novels in their library, and yet they and their publishers and the developers have also some of the most restrictive policies. For instance, ReWrite, I never have nor never will make any money off of ad revenue on these videos. There's ads on all the videos, I know it. In fact, it might be one of the few videos on my channel that gets mid-rolls, but that's because I have no control over the ads. In fact, I don't see any of it. It all goes back to the publishing company, which is the only reason why they even let this content be posted. It's probably because I transform it enough and they get all the ad revenue, so I'm not actually monetarily gaining anything by making this content. Even so, I don't want them to see me as some kind of leech, just as like, stealing their property and trying to post it freely on the internet like some kind of vigilante. Like, I want them to see me as a collaborator. So, anyway, that's all out of the way. That's my motivation for why I do limited playthroughs and why I make the choices that I make with my content. Why does that matter here? Well, it matters here because I can't show everything in the whole game. I think it's a disservice to the visual novel community as a whole, for the health of the community. It's a disservice to the fantastic creators of this game, because it can stifles any desire that somebody who finds my channel randomly, who falls in love with this story and these characters, it would rob them of the chance to be able to explore a lot of these paths on their own. And then on the other hand, if we weren't able to get the proper finale of the story, that would be a robbery for you. Not so much me, because I could always play it on my own, but like, you want to relive the most powerful moments of these stories with me, because that's what means the most to you. Because there's something really special about being able to share some of the best moments and the best stories that we've read. And with visual novels, that often is hard to find. It's difficult to find people in our daily lives who genuinely enjoy these stories and don't just make a big meme out of it or make a big joke about it, but take it seriously and really immerse ourselves in the story. That was why I started this channel. I struggled to find that for myself, so I decided to make it. And I feel a lot of you agree with me in that. So I don't want to rob you of that. So I did a poll. And in the poll, I said, what priority are we going to have? Should we prioritize the girls and then only showcase part of the finale? Or should we prioritize the finale and really like dive into the ending of the story, but then we don't showcase the girls as thoroughly? And the vote was very powerfully, not overwhelming, but very strongly on the side of limiting the routes that we display and focusing on the finale and focusing on the full game. So, here we are. I know it's a long intro. I hope you skipped ahead if you didn't want to hear all of my reasoning, but that's ultimately what our decision is. We're going to do one more route of the girls, fully to the end. Then, simultaneously, I'm going to be doing the other routes on my own. So then we can dive into the two endings and we can cover them both thoroughly. I'll be starting those endings having experienced and know everything from all the other routes. Will I've caught every little detail? Maybe not. You might have to remind me. But know that I'm not going to start them until I've done all the other routes, so I'm like fully caught up. I'm guessing the game wouldn't even let me anyway, but just to make sure you don't think I'm going to skip out on anything, I'm going to cover it all. And then at the end, when I do my rap party, which is, remember, it sometimes doesn't come up, but the rap party is what I call, it's the capstone. It's what I do at the very end of a series where I just kind of do a live stream where I just kind of just share everything that it just either didn't fit in a video or I just wanted to like summarize my thoughts now that I have the whole picture in front of me. And in that, I'm going to talk about all the routes, including the routes I don't showcase on the channel. So you'll hear about everybody there. Either ones we covered and ones we didn't, and I'm going to talk about them, compare them, and I'll talk about like who's best girl, best boy, what were my favorite parts, what are the things that I didn't quite like, I'm going to do it all. And so that's the opportunity to just hear everything. And usually those go for a couple hours, like it's just me talking. It's pretty good. So just make sure to remember that when I hit my finale, the next week there'll be that live stream, and then that live stream gets archived into the playlist so you can always watch it later. So if you're feeling like, I didn't cover that girl I really thought he would, I want to know what his thoughts were, come back for that. I will cover it eventually. It just won't be showcasing it. So what does that mean? Now we're starting. Here's what we're going to do. I made a decision. I got a little bit of spoiler-free help off of a very trusted source. And I've decided I'm not going to reveal it quite yet. It'll probably be showcased. If you know the game really well, you'll probably see based on the decisions I make. And also, just because of the nature of the game, like I've decided what path we're going to go down next. I know some of you will be hyped. Some of you are going to be disappointed. It's unfortunately kind of the best thing for it. But it only seems fair, and I'll tell you this much. As much as I know it's going to be you're going to hate it, we've done the Kotarou story. And then we did a Chihaya story, which focused on Gaia. And so now for the next girl that we're going to play, I'm going to choose one that's on the Gaia side, the Guardian side of the story. Which means that unfortunately I will not be able to showcase Akane to you. Which actually makes me kind of sad. If I had made a clean pick from the beginning of the game, from the two sides, Akane probably would have been my choice. However, like I said before, one of my favorite things to do in these games is to just stumble into the paths that I stumble into, and often I find the gems that mean the most to me. Chihaya's route utterly shook me. It was so surprising, it was so powerful, so moving. As much as I'm sure Akane's route is just as powerful and just as moving, I'm not going to apologize for taking a route I stumbled into like that. The only reason why I'm going to make this next route a little more artificial is just because I think it's good to showcase one side of Gaia, one side of Guardian. I cover the missing pieces on my own, and then we go into whatever the finale is all together, and there's not as many holes left in the piece if you would need a reminder. So that narrows it down to two. We'll have to see if I end up picking the one you're hoping for. And like I said, depending on how quickly we can skip through events and stuff we like, and how much we don't end up having to rewatch, we might be there by the end of this video. We might not. I don't know. This video is going to be extra long because I've taken 20 minutes to do the intro. So yeah, pretty spicy, but thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for being a part of the channel and for continuing on this journey with me. I'm sure you're disappointed. I hate that I'm disappointing you, but I hope that my very long intro rant helped clarify just why it's important for me to do this. Some of the stakes. There are other channels. There are channels that cover content like me. There are channels that cover ecchi content. Like they go a lot more on the expressive, more fan servicey stuff. And if you watch any of those channels, you'll see that they've had to wrestle with YouTube, with publishers, with devs, that they end up kind of getting into almost like a war, just trying to keep their channels floating, trying to keep content available. And I don't want that to happen to me if I can avoid it. And so some of these choices I make are motivated by me, and sometimes they're also motivated by my self-preservation. But ultimately, I want these developers and publishers to feel supported. Even if I don't agree with all the things they do, even if I don't think that they're being the wisest when it comes to cultivating online audiences, they still give us the games that we love. And they deserve respect for that. I don't always agree with everything, but I agree enough to understand that these are worth fighting for. These are worth having what we can get. And I think a playthrough where we cover one Guardian route and then the true finale and get the true ending of the game is much more valuable than fighting and potentially losing a battle and potentially losing everything we've strived to build here. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to stick with my choice. So thank you. Now, all the mushies out of the way, let's get started. I'll jump right in, and we're going to skip right ahead to the parts where we need to. I'll make the choices I need to, and we'll see where it takes us. So buckle up, and let's get started.
ある時、何も持っていないことに気づいた。幸せが詰まっていると思っていたポケットは、実は空っぽだった。そこに何を詰める努力もしてこなかったんだから当然だ。でも俺はそんなことさえわからなかった。漫然とした中身のない人生を歩いてきたからだ。そしてある日突然、自分がたくさんの時間を失っていると感じた。俺は誰とでも話せた。どんな奴とでも。でも親友はいなかった。ただの一人も。それがどういうことだか考えるまでもない。俺の人生はひどく薄っぺらいものだった。昔なじみの神戸小鳥だけが唯一気兼ねなく話せる友達だった。そう、友達だった。やり直すんだ。そして次はうまくやる。切なる願い。でも多分それはとても難しいことなのだ。みんな苦労している部分なのだ。人は自動的に幸せにはなれない。自力で幸せに歩いていかなければならないんだ。幸せって何だろう。青春みたいなことだろうか。なら青春とはなんか眩しいものと小鳥は言った。知るか、いちいち考えることじゃねえと吉野は吐き捨てた。ずっと昔、誰だかが人生の綱渡りと口にした。三人の意見はどれも正しいように思えた。眩しくて、知らなくて、恐ろしげなもの。難しいはずだ。それは答えがないってことだから。でも、そんなものを探す旅を始めようと俺は決めた。だけど時間は残酷に過ぎていく。あっという間に夏が来て、瞬きする間に秋となる。 気がつけばもう2年生だった。焦っていた。未だに俺は手ぶらのままで。なのに何をすればいいのかさえ見えていなかった。空回りばかりしていたんだ。
Alright, so I think, unless I decided in post to cut it, I watched the intro and I think I showed at least some of it. Because I love the way that they did the intro sequence with Kotarou's thoughts, where he's talking about like, oh, like, I'll try again, I'll make it better. And like, it feels very much like just a pep talk, but then like having redone the game and doing rewrites, not just of like our personality and our body that with his power, but like literally rewriting the story every time we play through it. It's very cool. So I probably kept it in there. Although I probably skipped the actual like animation part because we definitely watched that one already. So, all right, here we are. It's gonna be clicking stuff. I don't think there's anything like critical for choices quite yet. We'll get to that, but I'm probably just gonna be clicking on stuff. If I come across something new, I'll showcase it. So it's gonna be very jumpy for here on out for a little while. All right, so here I think is the first choice that matters. Although ironically, my so helpful, not so helpful spoiler-free guide, which by the way, very carefully had to find to make sure we don't spoil ourselves. Pretty sure I don't follow her as much as I had fun doing so. All right, we're back in the void world, the side dimension. All right, anyway, moving on. I'll see you with the next choice or next thing. Oh, okay, another one. It even shows the branching paths there, so very critical. Like it's the one where if you have power, do you improve the world, yourself, or you don't know? Apparently, the answer is I don't know for this one. Alright, here we go. Path chosen. Hopefully this guy doesn't lead me astray, or else we're gonna be starting this over. Oh man. It's just, even if I see it in flashing lights rushing past me, I keep remembering all the fun scenes. They're great. I like this game. I don't know if it's been pretty clear. I like this game a lot. Alright, we're gonna stay in the classroom. Okay. I think this is where we're gonna actually have something new, because I think the first time I played, I followed Kotarou. And the second time, I think I said I don't feel like doing any either. And nothing happened. I like fell asleep or something. So I think we're going to the cafeteria for this one. It coincides with my guide, but I also think it's just the right choice to make. So I think this might be the first new thing we've had. All right, let's do this. Yeah, cafeteria. You may be wondering why I'm so fired up. The time is nigh to finally. Class rep didn't specify where she went, but it's most likely the cafeteria. We're gonna get her this time. Because remember, we keep trying to like catch her off guard and prank her. So that's kind of why I thought this would be good, because we did like the hot sauce thing last time. I possess the analytical ability to predict that much at least. Cool. I'm glad you're on the same level as like a third grader. It's time to set my project into motion. What shenanigans today? Another exciting lunchtime awaits me in the cafeteria. What could a meal be today? What could the A meal be today? What could the B meal be? My heart dances in my chest. I'm in the middle of a growth spurt. I need as much food as I can stuff into my face. Or so I thought. How could that happen?
Oi, oi! 大丈夫なのか?
What?
血入ってないか?
What the fetch?
やっぱ無理に決まってる。こんなの人間には無理だ。無様だな、天王寺。自分が広げた風呂敷も畳めねえとはな。
There's a crowd assembling in a certain corner of the cafeteria, and in the center of it lies none other than I, Tennouji Kotarou. I'm fighting a terrible pain and writhing on the floor. Yoshino pulls me up by the collar, smiling coolly.
てめえが男を見せるのはこれからだぜ。ほら、立てよ。
Someone had to walk onto the scene. They'd most likely think this was a fight in the cafeteria, and I was the one being beaten up. But that's not the case, not even close. I did bring this situation upon myself, though. I try thinking back on how my pleasant lunch hour turned into this. What did he do? What did you do? About 1 hour ago. I stand in the corner, making my passionate speech to my classmates.
そういえば聞いたことがある。学食最強の激辛メニューがあることを。噂には聞いたことがあるが、救急車騒ぎで封印されたと聞くぞ。
Sounds like one of those like 7 mysteries type of thing.
嘘だろ。あの伝説の四川風地獄麻婆豆腐の話をしているのか？
Hey, isn't that a Fate reference? The Inferno Mapo Tofu? Indeed, the recipe that became legendary a couple years ago. According to the tale, there exists a group of students who were known as the Masters of All Spice. Their official name was the Black Spice Company. Very original.
暗黒極辛会はあらゆる激辛メニューの制覇を掲げ、激辛を売りにする食事があると聞けば地方であっても出かけ、激辛の看板を叩き割って回ったという。極辛でなくば美味にあらず。そう歌って辛くないメニューを次々に排斥していき、学食に暗黒激辛時代を到来させ、恐れられたと聞くぞ。
Indeed, and the legendary Szechuan Inferno Mapo Tofu was the dish that ultimately caused their downfall.
やめろ。あれは禁断のメニューだぞ。なぜ呪われた封印を解くんだ？
Apparently, this black company had taunted our cafeteria, asking it to come up with a dish so spicy it would defeat even them. As luck had it, our cafeteria had just recently employed a former chef from the Chinese restaurant, who decided to take them down a peg and came up with an extra spicy menu. The menu contained foods not meant to satiate the hunger of the average person. It was an embodiment of heavenly fury itself, existing only to punish the arrogance of those tarnishing the reputation of spice. What will you do if someone appears to unseal a challenge that legendary menu today?
なんだと？そんな命知らずが存在するというのか？
It's funny. I think I've mentioned this before. I have become a connoisseur of spice myself. I've been pushing my palate, where I used to kind of balk at putting a little more than Tabasco on stuff. Now I go ghost pepper sauce and, the last dab, and it's actually fun once you teach yourself to not die.
愚かの極みだ。血を吐いてのたうち回るに決まってる。
俺の部活の OB がそれを目撃したそうだが、湯気だけで目が潰れそうになるほどのこの世ならざる辛さだったらしい。
That is true of stuff like The Last Step, by the way, absolutely. Like, just, like, being near it, you can feel it in your eyes. I can tell you're all dying to see it. As such, allow me to introduce you to for the price of the show. S-Class ringside seats are 500 yen each, while A-tier seats are 300 yen. The challenger is unnamed for now, but don't write them off. Don't miss your chance to witness a legend in the making.
S 席1枚 A 席を2枚くれ。
押すな押すな。俺にも売ってくれ。
I like how he's actually making it work. They're actually going to give him money. I'm guessing he's going to try and get Lucia since she had no reaction last time. Kotarou ends up coming to take a peek at the commotion.
ふわー。吉野くんや、ありゃ何の騒ぎだね。
It's actually interesting seeing these two together.
天王寺のやつがバカなビジネスを始めやがったのさ。このチケットを見な。
伝説の激辛メニュー勝負？ S 席500円。吉野くんも男の子だね。買ったの？
天王寺の茶番に興味はねえが、レジェンドが誕生する瞬間に男なら一度は立ち会いてえのさ。
Are you sure? I imagine
女に
Kotarou...
はわかるめえよ。
I imagine Kotarou's about to go ask for a ticket, but for free.
女にゃ、わからねえよ。
Aw, I missed you, Kotarou. These tickets are selling like hotcakes. Other classes have yet to learn about the existence of Konohana Lucia, the Spice Queen of the mortal realm. As such, this makes for a perfect opportunity to make an extra buck. Men have a hard time resisting these kinds of things. Not to mention, we're talking about a legendary menu here. Who can resist the sight of someone trying to challenge that of all things?
小太郎くん、いいのかね？先日、ハラペーニョの揚げ物で仲直りしたんじゃないの？
Right, that was it, the jalapeno popper. Oh, that! It all fell apart in the end.
女の皿を舐めた男レベル、また上がったんだってね。
Oh, that's right! We keep getting caught up in really sketchy things. How many times do I have to say it was just a misunderstanding? It was just trying to test the smell of the classroom's lunchbox, that's all.
うひゃー！それは有罪だよ。
Yeah, that didn't help your case at all, man. I didn't lick it! I'm still on level 3.
じゃあ、女の皿を舐めた男レベル3と、女の弁当箱の匂いを嗅いだ男レベル1だね。
Oh, she's
足し
adding
て
it.
変態男レベル4だ。
No! Seems I'm still leveling up. Could someone please use energy drain on me?
さもなきゃ、石の中にいるか、灰になるかだね。
Oh, leave me alone. In any case, I won't be able to rest until I have classroom to yield to a mega spicy dish. Do you know the taste of a classroom ceiling? You wouldn't believe it, but it tastes like almonds. Isn't that what arsenic tastes like? What if the other classes taste like strawberry and the teacher's room like spearmint? Ooh, Konohana Lucia, I'll make you pay for humiliating me so.
で、許せないと、どうしてビジネスになるのかね。
That's where my quick wit comes into play. I asked the old lady at the cafeteria about the spiciest dish they had, and found out it exists on the legendary spicy menu that was sealed from the distant past.
それで、その伝説の激辛麻婆豆腐を委員長に食べさせて、ヒーヒー言わせたいと。それでお客が呼べて、一石二鳥と。
I missed Kotori. I missed her so much.
ほほう。お主も悪よの。
Hehehe. This will make a mark for the final for legend. Not even she could possibly handle the monster of a dish. I'll teach her arrogant pride to tear her arrogant pride to shreds. Mwahaha!
うひゃー、小太郎くん、悪の秘密結社の幹部みたいだね。
Yes. Look, that makes me think I'm gonna fall into a hole I'm digging, so don't call me that again.
おい S 席をもう1枚追加してくれ。
購入制限はないだろ。 A 席をもう5枚くれ。
From now on, each person will only be allowed to reserve one seat. I'm gonna be rich. This is gonna backfire so bad. So bad.
女にゃわからねえよ。でも、いいのかね。
Absolutely not. Then again, he'll only learn.
いいのかとはなんだ。
だって、もし委員長がお弁当を持ってきてたら、学食には行かないだろうし。
野郎もそこは周到よ。委員長の席をこっそり調べて、弁当は持ってきてないと確認済みだそうだ。
That is getting borderline creepy.
うひゃ、女の席をまさぐった男レベル1までついた。でも、その悪巧み、うまくいかないと思うよ。
No, it won't.
何か問題でもあるのか。
委員長、今日は友達のお弁当を一緒に食べる約束になってるって、さっき誰かと話してたの聞いたもん。
And so, that's what's gonna happen. Shield won't be there. Kotarou, forced to swallow his pride, especially because he took a bunch of money, will do it himself.
なんだと。それを天王寺のやつは知ってるのか。
知らないだろうね。
Nope.
なるほどな。これは愉快なランチになりそうだぜ。
Here we go.
あら、小太郎ちゃん。ねえ、あなた本気？あの麻婆豆腐は本当に危険なんだから。
Make it as though you were going for the kill. The spicier, the better.
男だね。先日の17辛カレーをあっさり完食した小太郎ちゃんなら確かにいけるかもしれないよ。
Oh no. Oh, this is actually sounding really dangerous. She thinks I'm the one who ate it. Haha, I'd most likely be in the hospital right now if I actually did. I can smell spice in the air already. Is that it?
そうだよ。今グツグツこぼこぼ煮込んでるんだよ。
Have you been working here since all those years ago?
もちろん見てたよ。私が救急車呼んだんだから。
Oh no. This one does sound pretty dangerous. But anything less than that would have no effect on the queen. I'll have a revenge on her fighting game combo-like violent ways. Today will mark her end. Wahaha!
17辛カレーを食べきった小太郎ちゃんもすごいけど、その前の激辛パフェを食べきったルチアちゃんもすごかったね。
She ate them both, actually.
あんたらいつか対決しなさいよ。おばちゃん、小太郎ちゃんを応援するからね。
Thank you, old lady who calls ambulances. I'm sure I'll need your services soon. Haha, maybe next time. In reality, I don't even like spicy food. Oh no.
今度から小太郎ちゃんの分にだけは特別に激辛仕様にしてあげちゃおうかしら。
I treat spiciness like samurai treats their sword. I only unsheath it during battle, and I don't put it away until my opponent's on the ground. As such, I avoid half-heartedly eating anything spicy on normal days. Good reaction there.
かっこいいね。頑張ってね小太郎ちゃん。今日のお昼応援。
She totally thinks I'm the one who's going to eat that monstrosity. Well, whatever. I'll have the class rep's throat that it passes through in the end. And once she falls, I'll finally feel like a whole man again. I forget how petty he comes across in the early game. Not to mention, I've already made a profit regardless. I can't stop laughing. Ha ha! What did you say, class rep?
なんだ私が友人と昼を一緒にするのがそんなにおかしいか
そんなにおかしいのか。
Aw, of course it'd be Shizuru. Oh my, if it isn't Miss Shizuru of the disciplinary committee. So there are you the friend class rep mentioned was you? Shizuru nods a bunch of times in quick succession. It's pretty unusual to have friends from a different year. But then again, they're an iron-fisted class representative and a member of the disciplinary committee. I can see them getting along.
今日はしずるがお昼をご馳走してくれる約束になっているんだ
She's so hostile.
なっているんだ。
Aw, Shizuru, you're so cute.
だいたいなんで私がお前と学食に行かねばならないというのか女の皿を舐めた男レベル 3! 変態男レベル 3!
What's with this level 3? Sorry, I'm level 4 now, apparently.
小太郎は皿を舐めるのが好きなのか。
I'm not a big fan of that in particular, but I like to lick my fingers after having potato chips.
それは美味しいのか。
Sure it does. I'd go as far as to say the main highlight of the potato chip eating experience. Once you understand that, you can finally call yourself a true follower of the potato chip. Consomme and barbecue flavors are the most popular, but I like salt the best personally. Salt and vinegar is the correct answer. Try it next time you get the chance to eat some. Aww.
やってみる。
Oh, she's so excited. Bless you, Suzu. She gives me a couple more quick nods, her eyes sparkling as though she just uncovered one of the mysteries of the world.
しずるにおかしなことを吹き込むな
Ow!
とにかくお前の昼に付き合う義理はわずかほどもないお前こそ公衆の面前であれだけ殴り飛ばした女をなぜ好き好んで食事に誘うというのか
リベンジ。
Oh, uh-oh.
確かにきっと何か罠を仕掛けてあると考えるのが妥当だろう
Fate has strung us awry.
小太郎、顔に図星と書いてある。
No way, I haven't done anything of the sort. Ha, ha, ha!
見えすいた嘘をシャーシャーとそれともなんだ私がお前と学食に行かないとお前にとって困ることでもあるというのか
The thing is, more or less, yeah, no, none at all. Ha, ha.
では何だというのか変態男
I've already sold the tickets. I can't let the star of the show bail on me. I have to come up with something quick. I mean, it's been awkward between us ever since that day, right?
一度は水に流したのに懲りなかったのは誰だ
I forgot she has the little fangs. Look, that was a misunderstanding, okay?
お弁当箱の蓋を舐めてた
それも美味しいのか。
ダメ不潔変態女の敵
Enemy of all women. Calm down. Just hear me out. I'm seriously trying to apologize.
黙れ痴漢変態
Oh, I'm gonna regret this. I'd appreciate it if you keep calling me names by the top of your lungs in the middle of the corridor, class rep. The number of disgusted looks I'm getting from girls passing by is incredible. I'll have to pay for this humiliation as well. That said, I can't do anything if she refuses to go to the cafeteria. Well, I was thinking of treating you to lunch as a token of...
行くと思うかこの変態不潔毛玉の
How does her route work? Like, this feels pretty, I mean, if she might be just like capital T tsundere, but like, it's feeling pretty like blatant here.
何あの二人どうしたのまた天王寺くんがこの花さんにちょっかい出してるのよ
Oh, interesting. So some of the girls are like, oh, what's with him? But some of the other girls are like, oh, he's teasing her.
彼この花さんのお皿とか舐めたりしてるんですってよいやー青春の甘いほとばしりよね
I'm genuinely feeling embarrassed on his behalf. I'm saying like, oh gosh, like, can you imagine actually hearing people say that? I would truly appreciate if they didn't go there. Class rep, who's not good at dealing with that kind of stuff to begin with, has already flushed red far beyond healthy levels. Her skin is emanating seething heat, much like a volcano.
とにかくお前とは金輪際関わりたくない消えろうせろ死ねバイバイさようなら二度と顔を見せるな大変態あっちへ行け
The voice actor is just going ham. I love it.
これ以上付きまとうと言うなら問答無用で制裁する。
You may. Oh, thank you for not actually. Wait, class rep. Okay. Hey.
天王寺くんしっかり。恋の試練は厳しいのよ。
Stop cheering me on in a misguided way, you weirdos.
やめるのはお前の呼吸だ。お前の存在自体が地球資源の浪費。今すぐ窒息して二酸化炭素軽減に貢献しろ。
Oh my gosh, calm down. No way I can get through to her today. She's in a complete panic, and saying anything will only stimulate her further. Maybe Shizuru can calm her down? Aww. Shizuru's stomach growls. I'd love to help, but I can't fight on an empty stomach, she gestures. Well, it's unlikely that even she could get through to class rep in this state. I have no choice but to retreat for the time being. It's smarter to get out of her sight and wait for her to calm down, then I can approach her again? Maybe? I have to prepare something I know you'd love. If you happen to have a change of heart, I'll be waiting in the cafeteria.
誰が行くものだ。早く出て失せろ。変態けだもの天王寺小太郎。
Yeah, I think we lost this one. I'm sorry for my unfortunate friend. Suzuda bows her head and waves me goodbye. Uncultured friend. Oh no. And when the time comes, as should have expected, class rep doesn't show up to the cafeteria. Of course. The two are probably having a relaxing lunch in the shade of a peaceful trees in the inner courtyard.
はいよ小太郎ちゃん、これが暗黒極辛会を解散に追い込んだ伝説のメニュー、四川風地獄麻婆豆腐だよ。
We're dead. Oh, I hear the cheers echo around me. It comes with a steamed rice and some vegetables, just like normal. However, the main dish, mapo tofu, looks odd. I can see it pulsating with heat, emanating a vapor that could knock a lesser man unconscious with just a whiff. A dish as thoroughly boiled in a cauldron from the deepest layer of hell, a dish that would prove to be the last supper of all mankind, the Szechuan Inferno mapo tofu. Actual people from China most likely wouldn't be too thrilled about this dish, though, calling it a perversion of their craft or whatever.
で、こいつを完食してみせるチャレンジャーは誰なんだ？いつ来る？せめて名前くらいは明かせるよな。
He's like, me. It's like you see tears running down his face. No, due to some unforeseen circumstances, they're having trouble reaching the stadium at the present moment. As for their name, I cannot disclose due to privacy reasons.
ほう、じらすじゃねえか。待たせてもらうぜ。
Oh no.
これだけの観衆を集めたイベントなんだ。まさか挑戦者未登場のままおしまいってことにはならねえだろうからな。
Or the money you've gathered, you can see the implications. It's like, Kotarou, you gotta do something here. Of course not. Haha.
もうちょっとだけ待ってやる。もしそれでも現れなかったら、これは多分サプライズだってことになるな。
I like how he throws a line there, but it's purpose. Like, it's like the line to hang ourselves with. A surprise? I'm not sure I follow.
つまり、あと10分してお前の言う挑戦者が現れなかったら、
Sid.
実は挑戦者は、てめえ、天王寺小太郎が実は挑戦者だったっていうサプライズってことになる。
Bravo. He saw the line, he watched and he waited, he found the perfect moment. It's beautiful.
うわー！本当か天王寺！お前なのか？お前が伝説を生み出すのか？
そうか。天王寺は気を貯めていたんだ。この地獄のメニューを完食するために必要な気力を貯めていたんだ。
そうだ、そうに違いない。みんなの気を天王寺に集めるんだ。ざまあね。見せてもらうぜ。てめえのチリざまをな。
Remember, you deserve this. Yoshino, you got... He knew everything from the start. He knowingly led me into a trap, and it'll be very difficult to escape now that so many people have gathered for this event. Oh my god. Will I actually end up having to eat this thing? It sent those weirdos from the Black Company straight to the hospital. I can't even guess what'll happen to a perfectly normal person like myself. Please, class rep, come on, come here. Prez!
サンマは煮ても焼いても生クリームで和えても粉にしてクッキーに混ぜても美味しい。
Is she gonna feel a disturbance in the force?
私は普通に焼いたのが一番いい。料理は素直なのが一番だ。
頑張ったが、ルチアの口には合わないか。
いや、そんなことはないぞ。もちろん、これはこれで美味しいと思う。サンマの開きの生クリーム和えフルーツサンドとは、実に面白い。ちょっと甘ったるくて苦手だが。
Interesting. I don't know much about Lucia. That's the thing. It's like she's been very secretive this whole time.
ルチアにはダメか。がっくり。
Suzuru's a sweetheart. She's like the most kind, most amazing, cute, just adorable girl. And then like she's also like a crazy like assassin with amazing powers at the same time.
もちろん、しずるが頑張って作ってくれたものだからまずいわけもないぞ。美味しい美味しい。
You're trying too hard, Lucia. Chizuru told Lucia she came up with a delicious new recipe, so the two had agreed to test it today. However, not even Lucia expected to receive a sari stuffed with fruits and whipped cream for lunch. Nevertheless, she could not let her friend down, so she tried her best to consume the peculiar dish.
学食に行かないのか。
まずいとは言ってない。これはこれでサンマの新しい魅力を発見できたつもりだ。
小太郎と仲直りした方がいい。
今日はしずると一緒にお昼をする日だ。天王寺小太郎のことなんか知らない。なんなんだあいつは。私にちょっかいばかりかけてくる。本当に迷惑だ。
Her voice is sounding so familiar, and I don't know why. It might be the rhythm, because there's characters that speak in a similar way, but I swear I must know her voice from something. Ironically, again, I think it might be the pattern of speech that's making me draw this connection, but it's reminding me of Rin Tosaka. But again, it might be the more tsundere flavor that the two characters tend to share.
ルチアにも他に友達がいてもいい。
いらない。しずるだけいてくれればそれでいい。仮に友達がもう一人増やせるとしても、あんな男お断りだ。
Are you sure about that? Lucia continues the fight with the stuffed sari. Just then, a group of excited students pass by the inner courtyard. Their idle conversation reaches the ears of the two.
今日の学食一体何だったんだ、あの人だかりは。
なんでもあの伝説のメニューが蘇るって話だぜ。しかし食わせる相手が来なくて待ちぼうけらしい。
へえ、それってあれだろう、学食七大伝説に名を連ねるあの。
What's she gonna think of that?
あのメニューは二度と蘇らないはず。
それを天王寺が学食のおばちゃんたちを説得して蘇らせたらしい。しかし誰なんだ。一体誰にあれを食わすために用意したんだ。
I wonder if she's gonna interpret this as like he was trying to give her a treat, and she's gonna feel guilty, when in fact he was trying to trap her.
天王寺のことなど知らん。私の都合も聞かずに勝手におかしな料理の用意をされても困る。
Suzuru snatches the stuffed saucery out of Lucia's hands and begins nibbling at it herself.
もっと美味しいのを作ってまたご馳走する。だから今日はおしまいだ。
だから別にあいつのことは。
The sounds, oh no. Lucia seems unable to escape him. She doesn't know whether it's because he's found something he liked or hates about her, but he's been following her everywhere lately. Nevertheless, if he really wants to apologize and make up with her, then Lucia can't possibly insult his sentiment.
しずるにまで妙な誤解を受けている。仕方ないか。
Right. Lucia stands up, signaling the end of her meal. Suzuru, still nibbling on the stuffed sari, waves her goodbye. How is this gonna play out?
これは何の騒ぎだ。こら、無許可占用は許されんぞ。チレチレ。
Oh, class rep!
天王寺小太郎、どうした。床に伏して涙をこぼしているとはただ事ではない。これは何事なのか。おい、誰か保健室の先生を。
So he did try to eat it and die. I'm so glad you came.
どうしたんだその唇。真っ赤になって腫れ上がっているぞ。
Call that tofu. Lucia glances at the table and finds the mapu tofu dish. It has a spoon in it, ready to be eaten.
今日のメニューに麻婆豆腐はないはず。まさかこれなのか。お前が私の仲直りのために特別に用意してくれたとか言うのは。
She is gonna misinterpret it.
そんな。
Oh no! She's oh no! I almost don't want anyone to reveal it because he's just gonna be knocked into the stratosphere again.
そうか。せっかくこれだけのものを用意したのに、私がいつまでも来なくて、お前を傷つけてしまったと言うんだな。
Oh, and he probably used the spoon, and she's gonna use this food, and then he's gonna be like the indirect kiss, and it's gonna be, oh no.
すまん。お前の仲直りしたいという純粋な気持ちを私は軽んじてしまった。傷つけてしまった。すまない、天王寺小太郎。この花ルチア、心より謝罪する。
That's quite a beautified version of events.
さっき廊下で話している男子がいたが、これが伝説の麻婆豆腐なのか。なるほど、これは美味しそうだ。ご飯と味噌汁までは無理だが、せめてこれだけはいただかせてもらうことにする。
Is this really gonna happen? Yeah, as long as you taste the mappo.
せめてこれだけはいただくことにする。
She's not even gonna eat the cooling stuff. Oh no.
委員長、あんた辛いのは得意なのか？
私に好き嫌いはないぞ。よほど独創的なものでなければ何でも大好きだ。
Overly creative? Oh! She put the infernal magma that made you vomit blood in her mouth like it was nothing. Lucia neither lost consciousness nor screamed out loud. She simply took another spoonful. Witnessing that, the crowd burst out in cheers again.
なんなんだお前らは。私が麻婆豆腐を食べるのがそんなに滑稽なのか。人の食事をじろじろ見るなど失礼極まりなし。それ以上続けるならば鉄拳にて指導するぞ。
She's something else. What the heck is that? Like, how? Like, I'm sure she's got a superpower that's helping her or something, but like, how? That still feels like something that, like, Chihaya would struggle with and everything. The crowd disperses. In fact, I bet you Sakuya, like, not even truly human Sakuya, would probably not do so well with that. But everyone still observed her out of the corner of their eyes. How is it, class rep? My special making up dish. How do you like it?
悪くない。美味しいぞ。
本当に辛くないのか？
少しは辛いようだが、麻婆豆腐とはそういうものだろう。うまかった。ごちそうさま。
It's like she doesn't actually taste it. That's crazy. Like, because she's saying it's like, oh, Mapo tofu's usually like this. It's not usually like this. Whoa. Lucia placed an empty plate in front of the table with a broad smile spreading across her face. I almost died from a little taste, so I can tell how much of a divine feast it was, better than anyone. Oh God! Oh Heavenly Father, the goddess of spice herself has descended upon us. Praise the Lord! I give up.
麻婆豆腐を乾杯とは言わんだろう。美味しかったぞ、天王寺小太郎。今度こそこれで仲直りとしよう。もう二度と私の皿を舐めたりなどするな。
I would never, I promise. No kidding, I might lose my tongue if I keep doing that. After all, even this legend turned out to be only slightly spicy to her. Huh. I lost. I completely lost. I never had a chance. I'll use the money I earned today to treat her to something spicy later.
これで今度こそ全部水に流したぞ。私もお前に二度と公衆の面前で変態などと言わないし、暴力も振るわない。これまで通り普通に接する。約束する。
I like how her caveat in there, she said, I won't call you a pervert in front of other people. She's like, you're still a pervert, but I won't be public about it. That's great, thanks.
それではこれで失礼する。しずるを待たせているのでな。
Class rep stands up, wearing a breezy smile. After she leaves, the crowd once again surrounds me and her empty plate. How was it, everyone? Do you have any good comments after witnessing the ascension of a god? Not a single person answers me. Everyone stares at the plate in astonishment.
とんでもねえレジェンドを目撃させてもらったぜ。畜生。今頃になって震えが来るぜ。
It wasn't planned, but it actually was the best show you could have ever done. Because if she just sat down, ate it, and left, people would have been like, it was obviously just like a spoof, right? But no, they saw it nearly kill Kotarou. So then they see her eat it like it was nothing. Everyone's gonna be like, yes, we praise the Spice Queen. Sometimes you find heroes where you least expect them.
ちょっと待て！俺たちは意義があるぞ！
The crowd begins to buzz. They most likely wanted to witness the spectacle of someone fighting with an intense dish, not to breeze through it. Now they're disappointed that it didn't live up to their expectations. Wait, or was it?
その麻婆豆腐、本当に辛いのか？
おかしいよな。 あんなにあっさりと食べてしまえるなんておかしい。
そうだそうだ、考えてみれば味見して辛いと騒いだのは
なんだてめえら、この花のレジェンドにケチをつけるのか。
その麻婆
Yeah, I'm not falling for that again. I'm not licking it. No thanks. Just how many times do they think it's been already? I raise my hands and let them have the plate for themselves. The crowd gathers around and begins sticking their fingers in the leftover sauce to test its taste. It doesn't take long for everyone who didn't fall unconscious outright to start screaming that it truly is a legendary dish after all. So people are dropping, others are screaming. Oh my gosh. Well, there you have it. Everyone's satisfied now? Class rep showed up right at the perfect moment, just as I predicted.
これはどういうことだ、天王寺小太郎。
Oh no! No! Why is it our fault? Everyone's licking her plate. It's not me! All of a sudden she appears, flushed, red, trembling after anger like usual. I understand this time for punishment, for the Iron Fist, but this time I'm safe. I truly haven't done anything wrong.
なぜ私のお皿を男子たちが奪い合って舐めているというのか。
It was then that the class was purged, and a third of the boys of the school were all destroyed and sent into orbit. I can't believe those guys myself. Go ahead, class rep, punish them with your famous Iron Fist. Give it your all. I'll be watching from over here.
お前のことを純粋なやつだと信じたのに、それなのに天王寺小太郎。
Why is she crying? Wait, class rep, I haven't done any of this time, right, Yoshino? I haven't even touched the plate since she left.
ああ、俺も認めるぜ。
Ugh.
こいつはチケットを売っただけだ。
At two, Yoshino!
そのチケットを買うと
Oh no!
私の皿を舐めることができるとでも言うのか。
Why is it always worse? What? I never do such a ridiculously bizarre thing. I admit to selling tickets, but that was...
ひどい。私の皿を不潔な男子たちの慰み物にするためだけにこんなことを。ひどいひどい。
Okay. How is there a route where she at all likes you? Why isn't she just kill you? Because this feels like literal motivation for murder? Oh crap. Are those genuine tears? Class rep covers her face as a sob escapes her throat. If that's how she interprets a bunch of guys fighting for her plate, well, I can't blame her for that reaction. Don't cry, class rep. This is all a misunderstanding. This is just a... Oh no. I step closer to console her, forgetting that I'm entering her reach.
よくもよくも私を慰み物にしてくれたな。
I submit myself. If it helps you feel better, just take my life now. My final moments will be living in regret, but I hope that you'll be able to recover after you commit murder. It's a misunderstanding, class rep. Yeah, you misunderstand.
変態変態変態、不潔不潔不潔、けだものけだもの、死ね死ね女の敵、天王寺小太郎。お前なんか大嫌い大嫌い。
Wow, wow, wow. I'm pretty sure I used this as a picture before, so I can't again, but let's just stand in awe of the first time the Drill Milky Punch, or its equivalent, has been properly issued and properly deserved. You've changed classes. Your received title, Conniving Pervert Level 1. The skill of Plate Licker has been withdrawn from your character. Taste her plate cleared. Oh no. I can't believe that's a thing. That was amazing. We just go right back to the club. That was amazing. I think we got time for a little bit more at least, so let's keep going.
お、天王寺。
Oh,
委員長と一緒とか珍しいね。
yeah, so, okay, just to recap, I'm wandering around the hallways. I met up with Lucia and brought her along, and now we're meeting, and apparently this is a walk, like an encounter I missed last time. So he's like, oh, hey, I've never seen you with class rep. Ha, you spotted us in our secret tryst. God!
誰がラブラブだ、この軽薄男。
Considering what we just went through, I totally think she's justified. Blah! Alright, I don't know if there's any others, but I'm gonna try. It's a shop. I'll buy a potion to restore my HP.
そんなものは売っていないと思うが、まあ休んでいこう。
I grab a sports drink while Lucia buys a bottled tea. Whew. Like we're married already.
くだらないことを言うな
Even a light joke is enough to trigger her rage at this point. Frankly, earned, but I also find it adorable. Ah, that's right.
なんだ
I'll let you in on something good. The stairs here have a pee spot.
ピースポットまさかパワースポットか
Oh my gosh! And if we didn't know from other routes that why she would be so excited, because she's like, that's a thing. It's an actual thing. No, see, if you look up the girls from this angle, you can see their pet.
このスケベ男が
Why would you say that to her?
情報提供には感謝するがそこは物を置いて入れないようにしておく
I was so foolish. Forgive me, my 500 arrow comrades.
相談し生徒数上回ってるじゃないか
Alright.
天王寺くんにこの花さん珍しい組み合わせね
I like this little bonus, like, content stuff we haven't had to do before. Is it really?
神戸さんは一緒じゃないんだ
Yeah, I figured I'd put a good old-fashioned switcheroo. Kabam!
この
What?
心底最低
Why?
男が
God.
まさかお前いつもこんなことして回ってるんじゃないだろうな
Nope, just today. Good grief. I don't know if some of these I've seen or not, but we're like, after seeing her, like, I think it's more. God! What did I do now? God! What did I do this time?
もう何か言う前に殴っておく方が早いと思った
It's like, I'm getting them in while I can. Can't even blame you. Alright, I think we just go back upstairs now. So, I don't know if there's much else for us to do. I'm thinking of returning to the club room.
そうかなら私はここまでだな活動の中でも変な真似はするなよ
You should trust me a little more. Lucia's left the party. Well then, let's head back. And back to the skipping we go. What a freaking adventure. Alright, so here we get to hang out with the Uchihaya or Suzuru, but I think we did the Suzuru, so I don't know if we're gonna replay it or not. But if we don't, I'm excited. Alright, Suzuru joined the party. Yeah, we did do this with her before. Okay. So this is the next choice. I was trying to figure out what it was, and this is the gloves one. So we've definitely seen this one. So we're gonna be blasting through it, but it is the Lucia gloves one. And here's the next choice. We're gonna do some stuff with Yoshino, which I've already done. So skipping through it, but this is the choice I'm making.
みんな食べるかね
Apparently, I didn't see this part though. So yeah. Feline beast? The beast, or rather the cat, jumps toward the wiener Kotarou through its way. Noticing it, the girls in the class surround the cat, gushing over how cute it is. Okay, so I haven't seen this before. It's interesting.
すごい猫です全然怖がりませんね
As long as it's getting food, at least. Most cats in this area think people are no more than easy food dispensers.
ある意味強制してるね
I mean, that's domestic animals for you. It's more like commensalism. There's nothing humans gain from them.
可愛らしさと安らぎがもらえますよとても貴重な成分です猫からしか得られません
I actually stand with Chihaya here. Cuteness and relaxation, plenty valuable there.
ほらほらこっちにおいでうわお利口さんだねなでなで
Aww.
すごいですね撫でても逃げませんおーよちよち
Welcome to the classroom. The cat helps itself to all sorts of treats from my peers' lunch boxes. Must have already consumed a whole day's worth of calories by now. Where'd it come from anyway? Hopefully the teachers don't discover its secret route.
あれどこ行くのもう食べないのお腹いっぱいなんでしょうか
腹が膨れたらさよならかワイルドな野郎だぜ
Naturally, you'd be inspired by that.
人間とは違います猫の半分は優しさでできてるんです
Fair, fair. Also, by the way, like, just saying, like, cats do give us a big benefit. They would be predators that would protect your home from mice and rats and stuff. Like, so they would be very good to have around your house all the time. I wonder if that helps with headaches.
なんだか様子が変だねあ、見て見て廊下にもう一匹いるよ
What is happening? Uh-oh. Oh, that one definitely looks like a wild beast. Seems like the two cats got inside the school today. The other one doesn't seem too friendly as the first, though. Ah, right, I met the one in the park before. The first cat seemed to be urging it into the classroom. It's probably trying to communicate that there's free food inside.
仲悪そうですね。なんだろう、話し合いがうまくいってない感じだね。
Seems like the grumpy one doesn't like the idea of getting food from humans.
奴はこびて餌をもらうことが許せないのさ。
Are you a cat, Yoshiro?
どんなに腹を空かせたとしてもな。ハンターに生まれたもののプライドだろうぜ。
凶暴な方の猫は結構痩せてます。餌食べればいいのに。
The hissing cat's not good at dealing with others. I feel an odd sense of kinship with it.
男はいつまで経ってもプライド優先だね。なんて会話してるのか想像がつくな。
I bet you can. Hiss, hiss. Meow, meow, meow. I won't accept a pittance from humans. What are you saying? It's just how many days has it been since you last ate? Growl. Look, even your stomach agrees with me. I'll give you my share, so eat already. I only eat what I hunt for myself. I'd rather die than put anything given to me in my mouth. I'm pretty sure that's the gist of it. You'll never get through these kinds of characters and words alone. I clasped the grumpy cat and lifted up.
わ、その子どうするの？
The voice in my head told me to become the villain and force these cats to force those that can't be honest with themselves out into the right path. Kotarou, Chihaya, gather your wiener crumbs on the floor. We'll stuff the rubble with them even if it requires drastic measures. That's not gonna end well.
あ、なるほど。はい、これ。美味しいから食べて。賞味期限ギリギリのウインナーだけど、美味しいんだよ。
Out! Stop resisting! Shut up and eat it! Hiss, let me go. I refuse to play to your suspicious food into my mouth. Now just eat it already. How long are you planning to cause trouble for everyone? I forced a piece of wiener into its mouth. Well, admit your mistake and eat.
どうです？
Seems to be eating.
やったね。
Its violent resistance ceases completely. When I tried feeding it again, it only feigns reluctance as it takes another bite. Witnessing that, the other cat finally calms down too. It must have been quite hungry. It wolfs down everything I hand it. This bee actually looks like pretty cute once it stops hissing. Huh, a little troublemaker. Kotarou, I'll leave this one to you. Feed it feed it so it stays full for a while.
私のお弁当、みんな食べちゃってもいいからね。
Aww. The other classmates surround the cats. They all take turns holding the grumpy cat in their hands and feeding it the contents of their lunchboxes. Endearing animals nurture loving hearts. This really is a fantastic class. This feeling is a lot more valuable than the trigonomic functions we had to study earlier.
本当に可愛いね。ほら、ちーちゃんも抱いてみて。柔らかくてあったかくて可愛いよ。
It's actually really cute to see these two being friends.
私は別にいいです。別に抱きたくなんか。
The image of conceding the cuteness must have triggered her tsundere instincts. However, her earnest wish to hold one is written on her face, which leaves Kotarou to forcefully put the hissing cat into her lap. And once the softness presses against your chest, it's too late to fight back. Aww.
柔らかい。
The dishonest pair seemed to hit it off right away. It'd be nice if Chihaya learned something from the grumpy cat's example.
ほら、ゴロゴロゴロ。
Wait, just how far has this relationship advanced in this short period of time? You tamed the violent cat in a matter of seconds.
ちーちゃん才能ある。いえ、別に普通にやってるだけですけど。
うわ、これは何事だ。こら、授業時間中に何の騒ぎなのか。
Right. Class rep, it's terrible. Two beasts have breached the perimeter and everyone's in a panic.
もうちょっとな。
Again, he doesn't realize he's talking literal things here, though. Yeah, they were ravenous. Look, they've already devoured our lunchboxes. Class rep's face contorts in terror for a split second, but then quickly catches on and delivers a thump to my head.
悪質な冗談はやめろ。ちょっと信じたぞ。
There's a good reason for that. Would you have fought them with your white fists of justice if it were true?
それがクラス委員長の務めだ。
Okay. I'd recommend focusing on evacuation efforts unless you can carry a tranquilizer gun around.
おや、委員長。それで、先生はどうしたのかね？
先生は所用でもう少し遅れるそうだ。それまで自習しているようにとのこと。ほら、みんなも席へ戻って教科書を開け。休み時間じゃないんだぞ。
She's right.
こんなに可愛いし、もうちょっといいじゃないですか。
可愛くても可愛くなくても学校ではダメだ。大鳥さんと神戸さんはその猫たちを昇降口で話してくるように。
じゃあ、もうちょっとだけでも。
私が来るまでの間、たっぷり遊んでいたのだろうが。
私はついさっき抱かせてもらったばかりなんですよ。
Oh yeah, these two don't get along, do they? Chihaya didn't want it at first, but now it doesn't seem like she's planning on releasing it now. You should try holding it too, class rep. Cats apparently provide you with unique nutrients you can't get anywhere else.
そんな成分聞いたこともない。
I think they'd be particularly beneficial to the tense person like yourself. Class rep, just take my word and give it a chance.
いい動物は嫌いなんだ。遠慮する。
あれ、委員長って猫は嫌いなの？
猫に限らず動物全般は苦手だ。不潔だ。
Ah, right. She is. That's the gloves and everything. She's very clean and tidy.
不潔って、それはあんまりじゃないです？こんなに可愛いのにひどいじゃないですか。
Seems like our class rep is another one of those that aren't honest with themselves. You'll understand once you give it a shot. Your body won't be able to resist once I'm through with you. Hehehe. Why are you saying that? This girl's just the same as Chihaya. Her mouth says one thing, but on the inside, class rep prepares to be purified to death. Prepare to be purified to death with the power of cats.
ほらほら、抱けばわかりますって。ちっちゃくてふわふわしてて、柔らかくてほわーっと温か。
Uh-oh. The grumpy cat and the self-proclaimed animal hater, the dishonest pair, come into close proximity. Chihaya slowly extends the cat towards class rep's chest. Huh? Cats really do stretch like rubber bands when you hold them like that. Forced into an awkward position, the sour cat's expression seems to say that this isn't its true form. Never knew they could even make facial expressions. What's gonna happen? Seems like class rep is slowly being entranced by the spell. Her fingertips are shaking. Perhaps cats really do possess something that no other being has. Maybe we could stop all the fighting in the world if we manage to extract and commercialize it. But at that moment, what the fetch was that? It's so sudden I don't even catch what happens. The grumpy cat darts out of the classroom like a bullet, its partner chasing after it. Only my speechless classmates remain. And Chihaya, lying on the ground and on her behind after class rep shoved her away. Okay, that was a little aggressive. I mean, well, okay. She's a definition of aggressive, but this seems weird, especially with the music stopping.
ちょっと、何すんですか突然。ちーちゃん、大丈夫？私は大丈夫でも、猫がかわいそうです。急に叩かれて。せっかく懐いたのに逃げちゃった。どうしてそんなことするんです？
Uh-oh. The rest of the classmates quickly take Chihaya aside. It seemed like class rep isn't just feigning her dislike of animals, her behavior still kind of crossed the line, though. I know how quick she comes to blows with others more than anybody, but it usually ends with a comedic punchline. She knows the right place and time for it. However, it's quite clear she overreacted this time. The relaxed atmosphere created by the cats has totally dissipated.
嫌なら嫌って口で言えばいいんです。突き飛ばすなんてひどいです。乱暴です。
What's up with that?
私は嫌だと最初から言っていた。それを無理やり押し付けてきたのはそっちだ。
You know what? That's also fair. That's also fair. She did really say that she didn't want it.
だからって猫ごと突き飛ばすことないじゃないですか。せっかくあの子人間に心を許してくれたのに、交流できたと思ったのに。あんなに乱暴にしたらもう人間には懐かないですよ。あなたのせいで人間怖いって思ってますよ、きっと。
Okay, hang on. Chihaya, I know you're upset, but that's a bit far. You're making it sound like it never would trust again. That's not likely. Like, it had a pretty positive experience, and it's a cat.
それは言い過ぎじゃない？確かに委員長は動物が嫌いだってちゃんと言ってたもん。なのに私たちの価値観を無理やり押し付けようとしちゃ悪いよ。
Yeah, everyone's free to like cats or not. It's a matter of opinion. It just so happens class rep isn't a fan, that's all, right, class rep? Class rep staring at the ground, her face beat red. Judging by how she's biting her lips, she's fighting something inside herself, like she's enduring being put in an unfair position. Yeah, there's something there. Okay, there's something like Lucia going on, like something about her that's probably a lot more meaningful than just not liking animals going on here. I understand how she feels. She can't stand animals, but we tried forcing one onto her net anyway. Unable to handle it, she simply forced it away from herself. However, she miscalculated her strength and sent Chihaya to the floor, which resulted in the cat running away. That and this awkward atmosphere. From her perspective, we're the ones at fault. Given her circumstances, I can't blame her for having trouble accepting the entire class suddenly turning on her.
委員長って本当に動物は苦手なんだね。どうして嫌いなの？あんなに可愛いのに。
不潔だからだ。だから触りたくない。
さっきから不潔不潔って何です？どう汚いんです？
Hey, someone speak up and be like, hey, Chihaya, calm down. It's alright. We're allowed to be strange.
そんなこと言ったら人間の方がよっぽど不潔じゃないですか。
人間だって動物だってみんな同じだ。だから私に触れさせるな。
Oh, okay. Hey now. Our emotions are probably running wild, but that's definitely going a bit far. Whisper, whisper, whisper. The warm and relaxed atmosphere of a bit ago is now a distant memory. Everyone's whispering. Right, Class Rep's a clean freak, isn't she? But calling all of us dirty is going a bit too far, right? She's been like that ever since she enrolled. I heard this happen before. Whisper, whisper, whisper.
こら、何の騒ぎだ？自習してろと言ったはずだぞ。席に戻れ。着席着席。
After all that, the teacher ends up being the one to tear through the awkward atmosphere. Everyone returns to their seats and continues his class as usual.
余計なおせっかいをするからだぜ。委員長は花から動物を嫌いだと言っている。
That's true, but...
猫が好きだろうが嫌いだろうが、動物が不潔だろうが人間が不潔だろうが、それは個人の生き方だぜ。
Again, Yoshino, coming through with clutch words of wisdom.
それを指してとやかく言うのはお門違いってもんさ。
I guess so. Yoshino's probably right. Chihaya and I were probably in the wrong for trying to force Class Rep to do something she didn't want. However, almost everyone in the class seems to blame Class Rep for being unable to accept the cat anyway. Wonder if I did something bad. Kinda. I don't think you're truly, like, super at fault, but I definitely think you're on the wrong side of this one, Kotarou.
わかってるじゃねえか。おせっかいの代償は高くついたな。
Yoshino doesn't seem to care much one way or the other. And before I realized it, the classroom has returned to normal. It's like the cat incident never happened. Maybe I was worried for nothing? It was just a little disagreement of aesthetic sensibilities after all. I shake my head, casting away my silly thoughts and instead focusing on pretending like I'm taking notes as usual. Interesting. Alright. We're gonna end here. We've gone through a lot of the choices. We don't have too many more. We're probably going to skip our way through most of the game until we get to like the actual branching point. But we made good progress. We've had some interesting encounters. Like it does make sense that Lucia kind of ended up being the focus of two of them just because we did the cafeteria thing. And then I guess I didn't realize like when we did the Yoshino, like the choice between like doing something with Yoshino or taking a nap. The first time, we went on that escapade with Yoshino where we fell into that hole that we had to get pulled out of. And the second time, I took the nap because I wanted to see what was different. I had no idea that the other choices you've done, or maybe it's a random roll, determines a different event. Or maybe it's even like as you start like walking down certain paths, it triggers certain events at that time. Which is actually kind of exciting. That means I'm going to look forward to going back to that point in the story in the future with other playthroughs and other routes. So... that's pretty cool. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel, for being a part of everything. I'm really grateful that you're here, and I'm really excited to be able to share this with you and to kind of, jump back into another storyline. I hope that the rant at the beginning of the episode wasn't too long and boring and everything, but like, it really was important to cover, and so thank you for listening through it or skipping it and coming, for the core content afterwards if you stuck around. Thank you so much for just being a part of this channel, and I'm really grateful that I can hear your thoughts, I can read your comments, and that you participate in the polls if you did. It just helps me know how I'm navigating waters the best I can, trying to have a good experience to share with everybody, and so I hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and I look forward to being able to kind of continue this together with you all. So thank you so much. Hope you have a good rest of your day, rest of your week, and yeah, let's continue where we left off next week. So until next video, watch me, you'll see me next. I'll see you there.